Good evening. Indeed, my name is Fleur Slagt, and I'm 29 years old. And tonight I want to take you on a journey from childhood to obtaining my master's degree in criminal law to chase my dream at the public prosecutor's office, as well as my journey from the hospital bed into the kickboxing ring. And I have achieved all of this by living one important life motto. If you truly want something, you can achieve it. Up until today, sports provided me with balance. And moving 8 places within 3 countries as a kid, sports, especially field hockey, provided me a way to connect and find footing in each place. But beyond balance, sports helped me pull through the toughest medical challenges I have faced. And in our family, we have quite an extensive medical history. My brother had 12 abdominal surgeries. My mom has type 1 diabetes, and due to a brain inflammation, she suffers from memory loss. 5 years ago, my dad underwent an open heart surgery to get his valve replaced. Despite that, they're all doing fine now. You could argue that they were trying to set the record in the family. Well, bad luck for them, because I made my appearance. At 8 years old, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And at first, I thought it was pretty cool. My mom had it too, and I saw how she managed it. She never missed a beat. So I wasn't worried that diabetes would ever hold me back. And this feeling got only strengthened when I was hospitalized. The doctors told me that it would take at least 2 weeks to learn everything about my diabetes management. But my mom wasn't taking that. She stood right next to my hospital bed, looked me straight in the eye, and told me, "Honey, 5 days. 5 days to learn it all because we are off on a ski trip." 5 days later, I was off on that ski trip. And that's the very first moment where I truly felt it. If I want something, I can achieve it. And diabetes would just have to learn how to live with me, not the other way around. As an active child, diabetes rarely held me back. And if it did, or in my darkest moments, I always heard my mom's mantra: "You can do it if you want it." At age 19 in 2014, everything changed. We went on a family holiday, and one morning I woke up with a racing heart at 180. So we went to the doctor, but he told me I was perfectly fine, except for the racing heart. So he prescribed me some beta blockers, and I was good to go. So I was determined to start my student life. I even got accepted into a student association, so everything seems perfectly fine. But only 2 weeks in, I came home to my student house, and I couldn't walk up the stairs. My legs simply wouldn't respond, as if they had forgotten how to move. So my roommates had to carry me up the stairs, and within 2 hours, my mom was by my side, rushing from the other side of the country. And luckily she was, because my body started to shut down completely, leaving me trembling, lying in bed, shaking severely. And although she left the decision to me, there was no doubt in either of our minds. I had to move back home and get the entire medical circus started. I said a tearful goodbye to my friends, packed my stuff, and my real student life began, back at my parents' house. And I signed up for some law courses to kill the time, but studying quickly took a back seat. And my real reality? Days and days spent in the hospital, talking to doctors, trying to find a new way of living. And after months of tests, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, a condition where the thyroid, the engine of your body, works in overdrive. And when the engine speeds up, all the other organs will follow. At least the mystery behind my racing heart was solved. My road to recovery had yet to begin. And from that point onwards, I was fighting my lows in energy due to the fluctuation of my thyroid levels. But I refused to give up on my law course because I had my heart set on criminal law. And my parents became my support system, my daily helping hand, my cooks, my nurses, my drivers, my lifeline. And several times a week, they would drive me up and down to the university so that I could attend my seminars. Truly? Where do you find parents like these? And they would always tell me, if you truly want something, we are there to support you. And after my first years of studies, medication started to kick in. I started to feel better. I was ready for the next challenge, moving out. So I started my Bachelor of Law here at the University of Amsterdam. And I had this drive to live a normal student life, a life filled with adventure, freedom, pushing boundaries. After all, isn't that what a student life should be all about? Only 3 months in, I couldn't have been more happy. The doctors told me to stop my thyroid medication completely. And I was hoping that they were right, that my thyroid would reset and function normally again. And at one point, I was able to go to the university by myself, finish my courses, go out with friends, and take care of my life independently. And I glimpsed this brighter future ahead. I felt the power to start a new challenge. I wanted to get back into shape. So in the beginning of 2017, I signed up for a gym membership. I started pulling weights, and then reality kicked in. My body had changed drastically over the years. Both my strength and my energy had changed. So I knew that I needed guidance. Luckily, within the gym membership was a free personal training. And before I knew it, this strong, fit, slightly intimidating man was facing me. And after our first session, I knew that if I truly wanted to get back into shape, I needed him, Jeroen, to guide me. Believing he knew how to restore my strength and my energy. That he knew how to push me within the boundaries I had. So I surrendered to his guidance, hoping he held the key to my recovery. And after 7 months of training, he asked me if I wanted to try kickboxing. What was this man thinking? The only sports I knew were field hockey, horseback riding, golf, tennis, and skiing. Kickboxing, no way. 3 sessions later, I was wearing the kickboxing gloves. Because if my trainer wants something, it will happen. And he was right. Because the first moment I put it on the gloves and gave him the first punches on the pads, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. A strength and energy running through my veins. And from that point onwards, I started training twice a week. And he introduced me to his wife, who knew, just like him, how to push me within the boundaries I had as a personal trainer as well. I started to feel stronger, fitter, better. And I glimpsed a brighter future ahead. Was this too good to be true? It was too good to be true. Because in April 2018, my thyroid issues returned. Apparently, that was possible even after a successful reset that lasted for at least 2 years. And all the strength and confidence that I had built over the year were slowly breaking down. Luckily, I finished my bachelor shortly after, and I decided to take a break from studying, so I could fully focus on my recovery, and I really wanted to go to Melbourne Law School on an exchange program. But then, September 2018, it was time for the last resort. The new medication was draining my energy, and I felt worse than ever before. So, I underwent the radioactive iodine treatment, a treatment meant to shut down your thyroid completely by exploding it from the inside out. The doctors expected a full recovery within 3 months, but 3 months turned into 3 years. Actually, up until today, I'm still not fully recovered. I would say that especially the first year after the treatment was the hardest. I had to choose between running some errands or whether I could go on a coffee date with a friend on that same day. And to make matters worse, doctors told me to cancel my exchange program to Melbourne. It would be simply irresponsible to go. But no matter what life throws your way, you have to accept it and learn to deal with it. And that is why I am grateful that I started training with my trainers 1 year before the iodine treatment. Because from that point onwards, I had them supporting me physically, but more importantly, emotionally. And the first few months after the iodine treatment, I started working out on a daily basis, trying to raise the bar a little higher each day, of course, under the strict guidance of my trainers. And even though on the bad days, training meant little more than sipping tea and having chats, I found a purpose in each and every day. After a year or so, slowly but steadily, my energy came back. I felt better, more energetic. I was ready for that next step. In February 2020, I started my master's in criminal law. 1 month later, COVID shook up the world, and I sought a safe place at my parents, who lived in Singapore by then. And since exams had turned into papers, I thought studying from abroad should just be fine. Only 1 week in, I had this harsh fallback. I was working on a paper. At one moment, I couldn't distinguish the prepositions from each other. So my parents told me, why don't you just close your laptop and go back into full recovery mode? And so I did, but only to start my master's again after summer. And this time, I took half the courses, and it worked. It felt as a new beginning, as if I was reclaiming my life, one step closer to become a public prosecutor. And after my thyroid diagnosis, I was also diagnosed with celiac disease and vitiligo. But despite my 4 chronic illnesses, I was able to obtain my master's degree in criminal law in 2022, and I got a job at the public prosecutor's office in 2023. Never, and I would say never, would I ever have imagined to be standing where I am standing today, obtaining my master's, and landed a job in one of the most exciting places in the world. Although I wasn't able to work for the past 7 months due to my 5th chronic illness, I am sure once I'm back, I will be ready to catch the bad guys again. And it may take me longer than most, but one day I will become a public prosecutor. Equally, I would never have imagined to be fighting in a kickboxing ring after years of setbacks. And my trainers brought me from the hospital bed into the kickboxing ring for the first time in 2021, showing me how to push beyond my limits, how to perform within the boundaries I had, and which doors will open if you truly commit to something. Up until today, I fought 5 kickboxing fights. And each and every time, I surprised myself by how much more I can handle than ever thought possible. But also, especially during each fight camp, I find myself grappling with insecurities. Am I training hard enough? Am I good enough? Am I strong enough? Can I handle this? Will my body let me down again? And the only way to fight these fears and doubts is by actually stepping into that ring and showing myself and all my chronic illnesses that I will not be defeated. I will triumph over my diabetes. I will conquer my thyroid issues. I will win each and every time. Because if you truly want something, you can achieve it. Thank you very much.